Okay, so here we have an ambush battle between Macedon, which is me, and Megit, who's playing as the Spartans. The Macedonians here will be doing the ambushing. As you can see, they've deployed up on this hill. There are several units of Royal Peltasts. I think there were 4 units in the battle, and 5 units of hoplites, no upgrades on any of them. And then there are a few units of archers with the flaming balls of death. The Spartan army, chosen by my opponent, comprised 5 units of Royal Spartans and 4 units of Tarentine cavalry. Was that 5 again? Yeah, 5 and 5. A fairly solid army, but perhaps the missile cavalry are a little bit questionable. Maybe some heavy cavalry next time would have been better. However, we'll see how they do. So the Royal Spartans are just moving up through the path. I would imagine the best place to attack is around here. The balls are going to get a nice amount of speed. I'm just going to speed the battle on because the Spartans are incredibly slow. From previous battles, I know that in one-to-one fighting, Royal Peltasts, who are separated throughout the melee, actually beat Royal Spartans in 1v1 combat. And the idea behind the army that I was using was to try and do that, to try and get a local advantage, to try and get 1 unit of Peltasts, to fight 1 unit of Spartans, and then back up the Peltasts with a unit of hoplites to make the crucial edge, and then I was going to destroy each Spartan unit in detail. However, the battle became a lot more blobby than that, so I'm just going to go into unit cam into here, because there's a fantastic moment when the flaming balls come down the hill and they sweep through this unit, which you'll see in just a minute. As you can see, I'm waiting on the hill for quite a while, because the way I thought the balls would roll, I thought they would roll into an area in front of the Spartans at the moment, and I wanted to catch them completely full on in the side and get as many of those Spartans dead in the initial balls of death. The archers would then rain down fiery death of their own. So yeah, we're still just about waiting for the balls to be activated, and they've just been activated, so now we're going to go into unit cam, and here they come rolling down, looking pretty scary. There are 2 balls very close together. That's going to do a lot of damage and smash straight through that unit. There we go, fantastic. And then the other balls coming in, doing plenty of damage as well, and that is a lot of dead Spartans. I think in the battle that actually killed over almost 100 Spartans with just those balls, and that was his general's unit, so significantly weakening the general's unit there. And here come all the Macedons, and there's the first fire going in. Cavalry trying to move off to the side, but it looks like they're going to get hit by the hoplites as well. The Spartans have all immediately turned and faced, and here come all the Macedonians, the hoplites going in first with their rapid advance skill, and then the Peltasts coming in behind. As the battle was being fought, the Peltasts have all grouped up on the Macedonian right, the Spartan left, and so the idea then behind the battle was to just try and move along the line as the Spartans fought the hoplites, because those should be fairly long battles, even though the Spartans should win. Perhaps a little mistake from my opponent here was to not do anything with these Spartans. It would have been quite a nice idea, perhaps bring them around the back of this unit of hoplites just here, and that hoplite unit would have gone fairly quickly. The archers up here are getting free casting on these units and are making the cavalry rout in places. Over here we can see the Peltasts have already got rid of 1 unit of Spartans. That's the general's unit fleeing just there. So now no more abilities for the Spartan army, and they're coming in to try and encircle this 2nd unit of Spartans here. So it's not looking great for the Spartans at the moment. They're going to have to hope that now that they've regrouped, they'll be able to hold off the Macedonian advance. A little bit of a lag for random reasons unknown to me. Okay, so it's now just turning into a fairly standard meat grinder between these 2 very defensive armies. However, you would expect that with more units and more numbers, the Macedonians should come out on top, especially with their 3 units of archers getting free casting. into the Spartans. However, in this particular battle, I failed to spot this unit of Tarentine cavalry regrouping, and as a result I ended up having plenty of cavalry hitting my archers in the flank, which was not pretty. So there's some abilities being popped off by my general there, just stopping the Spartans doing any extra abilities they may have. And here are the cavalry units coming up from behind. Let's see if we can go to unit cam, see if it speeds up a little bit. Apparently not. So yeah, these units really caught my archers fairly well, to be honest. These units were a nuisance to me for a long time. So the Spartans popping off their abilities left, right and centre, trying to get rapid advance, to try and make use of any charging possibilities available. Let's try and zoom in to try and cut down the number of models it's having to render. So as you can see, a lot of dead Spartans, and there are still a lot of Macedonians alive. The Spartans are being pushed down to really these two pockets here. However, they are starting to make a few Macedonians rout. However, I don't think that's going to affect the course of the battle, seeing as though this unit of hoplites is away from the main body of the army, and so they shouldn't cause a mass rout. In the background, you can see the Tarentine cavalry pushing through the archers. I think they may have already killed one full unit, and there are two units now fleeing in the opposite directions. However, they will get run down, certainly a lot of them. Still, we have 4 Spartan units fighting in the middle, but plenty of Macedonians. Use the whip, just popped off there on all the Peltast units, increasing their damage output in general. So that will give the Spartans a little bit more to think about for the next few minutes at least. Now we have one unit of Macedonians routing over here, one unit starting to waver over here. But also there was a unit of Spartans that looked like they were wavering over here, and yes, they're wavering once more, and they should run in a minute. The reason why perhaps a few of the Macedonians are pulling away is because this is a meat grinder, and the Spartans have a very exposed flank. Meanwhile, up on the hill, the archers are actually holding off the Tarentine cavalry reasonably well, and that stops them from getting a flank charge into the Macedonians. However, the Tarentine cavalry are such light cavalry that they probably wouldn't make much of a dent. Hence why perhaps in future this Spartan army should drop the 5 units of Tarentine cavalry, perhaps go for either 3 or 4 units of citizen cavalry, as they seem to be fairly well pointed and good value for how much you spend on them. Tarentine cavalry coming back now to perhaps try and aggravate the rear of the Macedonian army a little bit. As you can see, the Macedonians are just moving up the Spartans' left flank and are beginning to use their numbers to their advantage. This unit of hoplites here getting ready to make a second charge once they've stopped wavering, and that should begin to finish off the Spartans, as they are getting more and more condensed into numbers. Another unit of Spartans there fleeing up the hill. As we can see all the way over here, the archers are still just about holding off the Tarentine cavalry, although the Tarentine cavalry are winning that engagement. However, I don't think that's going to be enough to make a dent in the overall result of the battle. Here you can see a unit of hoplites getting around the back of the Royal Spartans, and if they manage to get that charge in, which they have done, then that will hurt as well. Another unit of hoplites here moving around to try and take advantage of this flank. Over up here we can see the joys of the Rome 2 replaying abilities. These units that are moving up actually moved over here in order to try and cut off the Tarentine cavalry from coming to help. Again, we can see another unit, another fantastic replay video of these hoplites having run all the way over here and now running back. However, it's not going to change the course of the battle, as the Spartans are heavily outnumbered, and hitting the flank, hitting the side, they will eventually crumble, despite them fighting very valiantly. So this battle is nearly over. Maybe a minute or so more the Spartans can hold off. They're still making 1 or 2 units begin to waver, but the sheer mass of Macedonians left will not be enough to win for the Spartans. added to that, the Macedonian general is still alive and still able to put out the abilities which were cry and intimidate in this battle. So that's a good aggressive choice of abilities there for the general. Again, just moving away, ready to get another charge in so they can throw some more of the javelins. The Spartans eventually going down. There's only 56 in one unit and 76 in the other, so there's only one full unit left, and they're starting to rally now. Meanwhile, the rest of the Macedonians are coming back thanks to the joys of replay, and are beginning to aid the battle as the Macedonians finish off the rest of the Spartans. Over here, the Tarentine cavalry are trying to come back to help their beleaguered comrades, but all in vain, I think. And the Spartans run, and the Tarentine cavalry follow very soon after. This was a good battle, I think, fought by both sides. Some good, strong fighting. The Spartans got off to a bad start with the general's unit taking such heavy casualties from the balls of fire. But after that, I think the Spartans made a good defensive line and they held out for a good long time. However, perhaps next time a better choice than Tarentine cavalry would be something with a little bit more punch, so that when the Macedons do come down and hit the Royal Spartans, that Spartan army does have something to hit back with. Thanks for listening.